Зачем нам Steam? Так. Так, раз. Мгм. Вообще, я запускал ее 2 раза. Первый раз было все нормально. Ну, только вот долго она у меня включается. А второй раз она тормозила поначалу. Вот. Ну, собственно, пока загружается, скажу, что было до этого. То есть я проснулся явно после какой-то попойки или наркотического трипа. Вот, но все-таки, скорее всего, попойки, а может быть и того и другого. В номере это 130 реалов. Вот, и меня ждет полицейский из соседнего участка, и все как бы говорит о том, что я тоже полицейский. Но у меня амнезия, я ничего не помню. Вот, а там была забастовка каких-то рабочих из дока. Вот, и они линчевали какого-то охранника от профсоюза, что ли. Еще толком не разобрался. Вот. Повесили его. И он висит там уже несколько дней на улице. Город называется Ревашоль, он находится на острове. Я так точно и не понял, это Англия или Франция, потому что там говорят на английском, одни с очень сильным британским акцентом, другие с очень сильным французским акцентом. Вот. И, ну, Ревашоль вообще звучит как французское название. Я ни хера не понял. Реал — это вообще какая валюта? Ну, тут я как бы сразу могу сказать, что я явно не английская. И мы ходим с ними, опрашиваем всех. И как бы нашли тетку на яхте, которая занимается перевозками судов, собственно. И которая пыталась решать проблемы, но ей не дали. Вот. И она что-то скрывает какую-то информацию, вот, а у меня она готова ее рассказать, если мы предоставим удостоверение. И напарник мой есть удостоверение, а я вообще даже не уверен, что я полицейский, удостоверения нет. Тогда она отказалась, ну, нам что-то говорить и сказала, типа, я готова в обмен, короче. То есть, если вы там найдете чуваков, которые тут наркотики распространяют, ну, водителя, который привозит из порта в город наркотики. Вот. И так по мелочам еще тоже опросили всяких людей. И они как бы почти ни хера не знают. Вот что я говорю, потом тормозит, музыка подтормаживает. Но я вчера вот она точно так же тормозила, но потом как-то нормально стало. Так что, ну, правда, еще так, вот это отель, собственно. Вот можно приближать. Можно удалять. Вот это мой номер. Вот здесь я проснулся. Здесь я вот протер зеркало и увидел свое лицо. Мое лицо, оно в левом нижнем углу экрана. Вот. Рядом. Ну, это не напарник, это коллега из соседнего участка. Прикольно. Я ничего не понимаю, как играть в эту игру, честно говоря. Остается только надеяться, что она растормозит. Погодите, а дверь закрыть? Да. В соседнем номере какая-то тетка жила. Вот. Я попытался попросить у нее самое секса, но она отказала. Так. Друзья мои. Да, я не... А чему тут зависать? Тут же, блин, зависать-то нечему. Это мяукаешь. Это загрузка нижнего этажа. Или по лестнице. Да. Верно. Да, ну я вообще на самом деле хотел этот стрим запустить, чтобы показать, как вообще выглядит игра. То есть, если она так будет тормозить, то стримов больше не будет. Ну-ка, давай.
Can I help you?
Так, ну эти диалоги я проматывал, ну просто покажу для
Another
прикола.
thing. Great. I love those.
То есть это он говорит. Я ему сказал, я увидел в танцах еще кое-что, он ответил, еще кое-что, класс, обожаю такое. Дальше у меня вот видите выбор. 1, 2, 3. Я могу вот разное выбрать.
Yes.
Ну, допустим.
Another thing. Great. I love those. What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
Вот что ему ответить? А может я вполне повар? Ну, допустим.
You're not. You're a menace. Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the real cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
Выберем первый вариант.
Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him.
Это
So he's directing
какой-то
his
внутренний
frustration at
голос.
you instead. Retaliate.
Я в прошлый раз выбрал не парировать выше никчемных провокаций. Ну, давайте в этот раз спарируем.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you.
Но мы его
We
только
should find out who this loud
раздражали.
faction is occupying in the booth.
А это вот
Loudness means
напарник
talkative,
говорит.
and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
Yes?
Уходим.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Убираем. То есть я вам нравлюсь?
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
Значит, дружественно. Ну, причем на аватарке какая-то старушка нарисована, а когда смотришь так, она вроде как молодая.
But dear, you're not for me. I'm too old and too married besides.
Понятно.
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Так, выберем третий вариант.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
Выберем первый вариант.
Oh my. You know where we are, right?
Ну, давайте пошутим.
Now. We are live in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, and the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol.
Второй.
How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I.
Ну, здесь
I
действительно
haven't
красиво.
seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
Нет, не знаю. А, весна 51-го. Так.
There. The year is 51, and spring has only just started. I'm sure there are better days ahead.
She looks flustered, her hands smoothing out the creases in her blanket, even as she attempts to reassure you. The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in this now.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Так. Вот так.
Oh, no. Nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own.
Ага.
Certainly no machines.
Понятно.
I don't know. Still looks like there's a lot of hustling going on. Maybe she's wrong. Also,
Первый вариант.
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
she's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
Первый вариант.
It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? And how can I help you?
You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality, in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good.
Так, хорошо.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Мне его голос нравится.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
Она говорит о тетке на яхте, потому что она же
That's a
богатая.
good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Так, айда покатаемся вместе.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie.
Так,
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time.
ну хорошо.
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
Так, ну, вроде бы особо уже не тормозит, смотрите. А где выделение? А, это дверь кухни, я все понял. А еще есть с кем поговорить? Тут может быть. Всё, идем на улицу. Так. Вот труп висит. А вот мальчишка.
Fuck does Kuno care? Shitload pig. What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno!
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop questions. Like a cop.
Kuno's fuck gimp. Kuno uses the fuck gimp for target practice.
He could have just said he doesn't know.
Yeah, it's fucking okay. Gotta have a gimp for rock practice.
Don't ask the pigs for permission, Kuno! Don't ask the pigs for shit!
Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional. I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City. Kuno gives this info out on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. Kuno didn't smoke the gimp, if that's what you meant. Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno!
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Right, pig? This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it? Look at that fucking shit! You're trying to get Kuno killed! Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
The lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno! Don't climb it, Kuno!
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there. Look it up in the library. Kuno's not a fucking dictionary. Fucking small brain. Kuno means the gardener, alright? Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno. Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. The fuck about it?
Да.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Ну и хуй с тобой. Так. Его зовут Куно, а ее зовут Куна.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. I come from the woods, Kuttavittu. You don't want to go there with me. You don't want to see what I've seen.
Don't be traumatizing her. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of her face. You got done. Talk to me.
So it's a girl.
Бля, ладно.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Так. Здесь есть... О, интересно.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted. Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
Опачки. Так.
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
Давайте проверим. Так. О май гад. Засушенная голова с... Тарелка с остатками желтоватого наркотики. Против дороги. Боже, мы вышли на крышу. Ах, ах. Так, погодите. А и что? Нет, наоборот. Так. Странно. Не, он что-то пишет, но Ладно. Как я сюда пришел? Можно понять? Вот так. Тихо. Не-не-не, погодите, погодите. Рано нажал. Давайте еще раз. И еще раз. Так. Вот это что? Куда ты пошел? О май гад.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here.
Плащ полицейского.
When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely see a white rectangle on its back.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia. And
Мой
you have a
плащ.
habit of being careless with your equipment.
Интересно.
You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
Так. Сложно. Ну давайте.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance
О май
over
гад.
the container yard. The look in his eyes is a mix of the engineer-like interest and the wonder of a 6-year-old seeing a horse for the first time. That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Is it? Qualsund makes a lot of heavy equipment, but this is phenomenal, even for them. But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here.
Низкие шансы.
The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it? Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2-meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it.
Шансы
The
низкие.
cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind.
What are we doing? We're awfully close to breaking into the industrial harbor. They're bound to have information for us. I thought that, or it could be that we are just exploring.
He's thinking you've forgotten where you are again.
Низкие шансы. Хорошо, давайте еще раз. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a boxer. And you've climbed way too high up here.
Верная смерть. 2 метра. Ну, 2 метра, конечно, это, блядь.
Sure. Just be careful, okay? Looks like you almost strained a muscle there.
Так. Говорили, белая проверка, можно еще раз, и теперь, говорит, недоступно. Ну ладно. Так. Это что? 90. О, интересно. Ну-ка. Ничего себе. Больше ничего тут нету. Так. А, вот так вот. А можно на балкончик выйти, например? Можно, нет? Да, вряд ли. А он там не может пройти, да? Хитро. Так, это что? Открытка Гранд Курон. И что с ней делать? Я не понимаю. Икс. Что там? Жидкость. Ракет. Я уже прокачивала. На грубая сила. Электрохимия. Очки навыков. 80 из 100. А, мне надо набрать 100, да? Команду выполнить. Короче, я понял. Все, уходим. Я не вижу способа. Хотя, может быть, и бочки. Давайте последний раз еще раз. Еще раз проверю бочки. Да, ёпта. Я еще... Что там?
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet
А, я
amphetamine.
амфетамины нашел. О, отлично.
The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you.
No, I'm just a regular detective, thank you very much. Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. However,
Мелочами.
but that there was an interesting find. An alternative path into the harbor that the kid uses. Well done.
Я хочу еще раз туда сходить. Можно? Там же должен быть проход. Ага. А почему я не могу выделить ее? Или спрыгнуть? Да, ладно. Я понял. Мы нашли проход, но надо прокачать эквилибристику, видимо. Всё. А может еще что-то тут есть? Витамфетамины. А я их не забрал, да? О, кто-то даже пишет нам в чат. Привет, ты мой любимый кто? Блогер Сурат. Ват Занб. Привет. Так. Короче. Надо прокачать. Когда будет 100 очков, надо будет прокачать эквилибристику. Тут где-то баклан сидел, это вообще был угар. А, вот он, вот это мне нравится. А можно его выделить, нет? Ну, короче, вот он сидит. И даже не выделяется, ладно. А бутылки можно? Может, тут тоже деньги валяются? Ого, 13-19 уже. Понятно. Так. А кто там наверху? Погодите.
Hey, up here,
The
Piggo.
streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
Ничего себе. Чё? Ты ебанутая?
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Так.
Go where? Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pigman. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit.
Ага.
I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
Первое.
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mono is here.
Я думаю, в реальной
Rarely
жизни
see
копам бы так не
pigman
хамили
either.
все подряд.
Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
А, там же нету мусоров в этом городе, да, я понял. Ну как, их нету, но они есть, короче, какой-то парадокс. Город парадокс.
She wants it to be something true and total.
Ладно.
Yeah? Thanks.
I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building. The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief. Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world. It's where they grow whores like her, and their whoremen. Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honor?
Так. Про убийство.
I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
Это справедливое замечание, я тоже заметил
We
это.
weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Понятно. О, интересно, интересно.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Doesn't matter who I am.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom sweeping across the concrete floor.
Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east. The door rattles again, but this time
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any
Ладно.
more strangers.
Это, блядь.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told. Go check the backyard door.
backyard door. There
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply. Just faint sweeping sounds inside.
Хер с ней. Хер бы с ней. Понятно. Так, мы что-то об истории хотели расспросить, да?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Угу.
This reality. Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Энцефалопатии. Так, интересно.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well.
Спасибо.
He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
I don't know. Так, она делает большой глоток чая.
Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Давайте с интересного.
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective. In case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
Так.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Либо из бариатрических операций, либо из-за пьянства. Ну ладно.
She nods slowly.
Так.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie out in the open somewhere.
Это мой галстук со мной разговаривает. То есть там с башкой проблемы. Так. Где мы?
We're in Martinez, baby. Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Oh.
Yes, we're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Австралийский океан. Так, начинается.
Vast,
Интересно.
lukewarm and unknowable,
Чего?
flowing in and out of sight.
Австралийский океан? Чего, блин?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea.
Эсперанс.
Misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch. The
Очень
Martinez
сложно для меня.
distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her and to humanity at large.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city. The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism.
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and
названия
Ile depending
такие.
on your creed. In the DeLorean century, 380
DeLorean.
years ago. They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
Понятно.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island, able to sustain up to 200
200
million
миллионов
in
человек
the
на
middle of the
острове.
Insulindic
Чё?
Ocean, the world's connective tissue.
Чё она
It's where the money is.
способна? Я что-то вообще начинаю. И 200 миллионов.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about
Возвышающиеся
A collection of tall
небоскребы?
ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows.
Чё?
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the
Можно
first
посмотреть?
time.
Это что-то как-то не...
There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need to complete.
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
That is understandable, but perhaps it's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
Так.
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late. For the big time. The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights.
Ага.
It's a real kerfuffle. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So, did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Yes, the Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Так.
Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down? Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Frisell got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. the armed center of the world. They
М,
landed here
Это
and ended the
51 год
revolution.
какого
was the
века?
moralist thing to
И на
do.
какой планете это происходит? Я что-то вообще...
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
Да...
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work. The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease,
Пандемия,
which the
интересно.
authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie, a pair of pants.
Ну, допустим.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations, and you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The
Militia.
clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside,
Не
Officer
понял.
Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
Всё.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eslary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade. 43 years.
50 лет.
Hard to fathom, I know. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. No, it was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
Задание обновлено.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we'd played it right. Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
Так, задал вопрос, я бы медицинское решение. Я бы убил 400 миллионов, если бы это было нужно для дела. Будь у меня право на недра, я бы сбежал.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city. No, almost certainly. The Commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided.
А еще раз.
Good question.
No, her first.
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute
То есть
And
она
I
не
asked
хочет
you,
говорить вообще.
past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what ins... So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago? Good hygiene. Really. A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad. When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
Ага.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position.
Understandable.
Так,
Those would be the communists.
She's not gloating.
Oh,
это
and
было.
the anarchists too. They shot them well.
Надо
Did they ever,
промотать.
before they got shot themselves?
This does not represent the official RCM opinion.
Don't worry. Klaus Marzov shot 15 million people in the head. But that was all the way over in Grad. Oh, lots of people. Even
Ах,
the
это
real king
было,
abdicated
было,
and
было,
lived out a
было,
long
было,
and
было.
productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. About head shooting,
Ладно, все.
they are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants.
Ничего себе. Нормальный поворот.
I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing the canine.
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind. Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly. I hope so. I hope we are able to continue as friends despite my scaly bulk, and the insanity, bloodshed, and transfer of wealth that took place here. It was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was, with due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government. I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea. Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah! This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
Ты чё? Кисть горло бросает на жесть, кап-кап.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
Так, хорошо.
The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture. I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat, all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
Так, хорошо.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Есть.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Это уже было, короче, надо опять это убрать.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Так, хорошо. Так, а чё, мы можем прокачать что? На яхту? Можно на яхту зайти? Да, Кицураги, ты чё? Как ты зашел на яхту? Я не понял. Как он? Я не могу зайти на яхту. Я не понимаю. Кицураги, ты можешь то, чего не могу я? Ладно, я хочу прокачать, что там, эквилибристика. У меня же есть навыков. Это там, что-то... Погоди. Повышение уровня. Я не понял, у меня повысилось, не повысилось? Объясните, как это работает? Всего 3. Нет. Что я должен, блядь, нажать? Изученный навык 0. 75, 100. Мне там было куча этих очков, а все равно меньше 100. Как это? Я не понимаю нихуя. Где, блядь, мое повышение уровня? Или я только концептуализацию повышаю? Как, блядь, качать здесь уровни? Я не понимаю, нахуй. Так, времени уже полтретьего.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked.
Так, а можно наоборот? Она сказала, что что-то там сзади, да? Это там за... О, а мы здесь были? Мы здесь не были. Правильно? Ага, здравствуй, девочка. А вот мы тебя и нашли. Ха-ха.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to
Хе-хе-хе-хе.
slit my throat in my sleep?
Нихуя себе.
Apparently, she doesn't like people standing behind her back.
Pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out? Don't get fucking clever with me, pig. You think you're so clever.
Ты чё? Ты чё, паскуда?
Trying to sneak up on me again. Trying to snuff me out.
Сучка. Ладно. Жаль, пиздюлей нельзя видать. Ага, понятно. Отлично. Дверь? Серьезно? Я не понимаю. Почему я не могу туда пройти, ёб твою мать? Просто закрытая дверь, но ты с подозрением смотришь на нее. Ну хорошо. И ладно, нельзя так нельзя. Ага. Так, а сюда можно зайти? Нет, нельзя, да?
I knew I should have quit.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer. There's no trouble. I'm just speaking in a lowered voice. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
Так, интересно.
I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away?
We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you? No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
It'll take more than rain to bring this place back to life.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals. What? He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet like a dog.
Trash?
Please don't go. I'll even stop smoking inside.
Listen, I really have to go. Good luck with the investigation.
Пидорас. Там что-то, блядь, уходит, тварь.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who says there has to be a way of getting inside the building. Let's go check out the door near the pier again.
Так, а вот эта дверь.
There must be another way into the building.
Олё, ты чё меня так оглушаешь? Еще раз. Еще раз. Так, я не понимаю, вот же есть проход, почему я не могу зайти? Ну, все так сложно. Ага. Так, ладно. Никак. Погодите. Я даже забыл, как мы сюда попали. О, погодите, что?
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez, weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Ну и пиздец.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Так, она ничего нового не говорит. Ничего нового. А чё, кстати, по книжкам я забыл? Про паштеты. О! До этого не открывалось. Надо было книжки посмотреть, оказывается. Отлично. Ага. Дураги в перчатках.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage, and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything. Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note, when it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place. The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. It even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from. How to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed his liver. And there's even a chapter on the ancient Seraïs tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying. This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh, no.
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone,
Так,
the point of the
погодите.
book, and many others. Various paranatural books still litter the shelf. The throbbing in your head increases with every passing moment you gaze at this shelf. Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a small green book becomes apparent. The title of it reads, Medicinal Purposes of the Pearl. The book contains very little explanation on the matter. This knowledge seems to be taken for granted. The book contains descriptions of various pseudoscientific therapies, alternative medicines, and folk remedies involving the pearl, also known as le territoire. For example, it recommends vigorously swatting one's naked body with a venic or hand broom, made from the leafy twigs of a young
Веник,
birch
он
tree
сказал.
from the near pearl. It is, and good for the circulation too. It also recommends consuming distilled spirits like vodka or whiskey that have been aged in the pearl. Readers are instructed to cover these jars in a shallow hole just inside the pearl and leave. Among other benefits, it is alleged to restore a damaged liver to perfect health. For general health and well-being, readers are encouraged to take regular strolls through the pearl, though a sidebar cautions readers to limit each stroll to less than an hour. These strolls promise to cleanse the mind of worries and the body of toxins, especially if the perambulator performs this ritual in the nude. This is exactly what you need. There's an entire section devoted to cures for men who are struggling to perform their marital obligations.
Excuse me, sir. I believe you've been perusing that particular volume long enough. If you'd like to continue reading, I must insist you buy it.
Заблокировано.
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
I would say The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power. A very influential historical figure, but surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things. Certainly, it's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside. Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook. High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the
Любовь на
finest
спидах.
tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover.
Короче, тут кроличья
Next
нора
to
довольно
Irv's life story,
глубока.
you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other.
Морфий и кокаин. Понятно. В глаза.
Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse though, but not too long. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme. Ozon, Laurentide, Fas à la Mer, archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou in a bookstore. It's you. You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelier, and Vilmandu, on archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Seminine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. Lost little pearls of light, tiny. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seol is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds, words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods, gods of distance and outer dust. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East. Coudon, it's somewhere to live, not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Faubourg. It's almost as bad and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
Coal City.
It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is, north of Jamrock, the strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest.
Ну, это понятно.
No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbour, even the whirling in rags there.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing? It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location from when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps. They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business. Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
Потом надо
Acquired an
разбираться.
interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
А как мне в эту вкладку попасть? Ты можешь мне рассказать? Какими кнопками я должен нажимать? Так, что у меня? 80. Мне нужна эквилибристика. Почему я не могу? Взаимодействие. Как? Как? Где? Ну, может, здесь есть? А, действие взаимодействия. Я не понимаю. Взаимодействие в инвентаре. Как попасть в инвентарь? Диалог меню, диалог меню. Здесь нихуя нет про то, как попасть в инвентарь.
This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here.
Это я случайно
In the
нажал.
northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou. The ocean breaks apart, connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindic. You have little idea what they are. Perhaps they are gods. Gods of...
Все, ломанись нахуй. Понятно.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring-do.
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really...
Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf? You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. Oh no, turns out he fated to solve a case. Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic Hard-Boiled Phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence. Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? Then this is the book for you.
Так. Интересно. Как? Скажите.
Welcome to Crime, Romance and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor. One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent. I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Да, по домофону, когда...
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
Doesn't feel like it's thriving. feels ghostly.
Ghostly.
Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't you feel compelled? Go, go! Get back there. The books await you. Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't...
She's attempting to mentally direct you towards the shelves. She only wants you to buy the goods. She doesn't care about the books.
Truth be told, not really. My sister brings in most of the goods. I'm sure it's all very literary stuff with well-written prose. But you don't learn about the important things in life from fabricated stories. The truth is available if you just know where to look, and you have to open and free your mind to understand.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl? Wonderful! Did you talk to her? Great! On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books off?
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer. My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business. You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening. Good, sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her, as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there. Indeed. Are we done with the jokes now?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
God, I've told her not to do that. It's disgusting. And I told you to mind your own business. Clearly, you have no idea how hard it is to raise a girl in this economy.
Ты только что говорила, что ты процветаешь.
This economy is a mysterious force, like cosmic weather, mysterious and hot.
She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without change. This is a person coming to terms with a new reality, one where they are wrong. It's not easy.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there.
Да, must be freezing.
I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull
Почему
mind.
0? Почему 0?
stress.
Получено 50, потом 0. Что это? Нет, где мои, блядь, ёбаные очки? Очки 85, блядь. Мне нужна эквилибристика, как мне.
It sounds like both the husband and the mother treat her the way she treats Annette.
Oh, well, my mother was horrible, of course. Absolutely perverse energies around that person. But my husband...
My husband is completely different, of course.
Yes, my husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne. It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful neighbourhoods east of Jamrock. You may know it for its massive housing projects. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. Better time. He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner. Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite busy. Children are a lot of work. You don't look like a father, so I don't expect you to understand. I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand. She's been too busy helping me here, so she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Так. Это что у нас?
Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey, you. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too? So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true? You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners.
Я такого не говорил.
All people who have more than 25 real in their pocket. Literally murder all human... Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism, that everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about failure. Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world.
Кем я разговариваю сам с собой?
Against every living thing. Against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world fell. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade. Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless anyone has objections. Anyone? Anyone else? There's no one? There's one. You should build communism, precisely because it's impossible.
Ну хорошо, давай.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Покатать расстрельные команды. Это не предупреждал.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Охуеть. Охуеть. Ну, не знаю. Может, нахуй его послать. Скотовозки ебаные.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only. Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books?
Я уже купил.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries,
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains. Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you, you're unleashing forces beyond your understanding.
Мужчины.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Only an echo. No one is there. A hollowed out, dark echo. Only an echo. A hollowed out, dark echo. Shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
Are you alright? This looked pretty intense and painful, I must admit.
What is going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back door? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't tempt the spirits or you'll damage the holy wards on the door.
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still locked and closed, covered in dozens of little charms and trinkets. echoed out dark echo.
Ну, короче. Занавески.
Yes?
Короче, по-моему, мы уже все облазили тут. Где тут выход? Так, ну тут же не тормозило уже долго ничего. Прям сейчас начинать. В таком эпическом месте тормозило. О, девочка ушла.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
А, вот поэтому до домофона мы говорили.
All you hear is static, but no one answers the call. You hear the same waiting room music, but no one picks up the receiver anymore. You ring the doorbell, but what an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's hair. You ring the doorbell, but nothing happens. You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box is looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't. You hear static. You can almost hear them breathe.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place?
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was. Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice.
She must be mistaking you for someone else. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to live here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she...
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally meet again.
She sounds like she's about to cry. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another seagull passes by. It's getting cold.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this doorbell. It looks ancient.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the... You hear the same waiting room music, but no one picks up the receiver anymore.
Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different person now. Stronger, healthier, and... Alright, maybe not healthier, but it's a bonus that you've drunk so hard you can't remember any of your past relationships. Oblivion's the ace in your corner.
Отлично.
There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell, waiting for her to answer the call. There's the static again. Whisper.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order? My God.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
It's you.
Wait, is she...
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months.
The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing.
Ever since I came to work here, it's been as if my mind's been wiped clean. It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget about you.
Да.
It hits you.
She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed.
Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this.
Her sound melts into the static from a long-distance phone call.
This is where you hung up the call the last time, but the recording is still...
A phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of heels. No one replies, but the static grows stronger like rainfall. Then a female voice speaks out, completely different from the one before. Glory.
Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rain streaks on car windows. Eyes like pilot lights watch your shape in dark hallways, guttering.
So... It was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries to solve. I don't have time to explain it to you right now. Maybe sometime later. Don't take this the wrong way, but during our short stint working together, something weird is almost always happening to you.
That is true. Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident. Silence. No one answers the doorbell. Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you. Silence. No one answers your call. This button looks new.
This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Да. Интересно. Кстати. Можно выделить чувака, нет? Да, он не выделяется. Вот.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes.
Да. О, кухня открыта, ну-ка. Интересно. Холодильник нельзя? Я спиздил деньги. Нормально.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garanzi and Kubek. It must be his name, Garanzi. Garanzi Kubek. Sounds representative. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Да. Вот это что? Можно сюда? Так, погоди. Это похоже на дверь, нет? Не дверь. Вот.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimpled lock. You immediately feel drawn to the color. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe. The door does not budge.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Yes, I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Так. Давай.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. Yes?
Так. Здесь у нас все, да? Так, очки накопились. 95. Эквилибристик. О, боже мой.
hello again, sweetie. Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or...
No, dear. I'm not quite that old, although I was injured in the line of duty. Nothing so glamorous, dear. Though when I was young, I dreamt of planting the Revacholian flag on some figurative peak. I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. No problem.
There is no bitterness in her voice. She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago.
Hello again, officer. How are things?
Welcome to Revachol.
Вообще расист, блядь.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Revachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would...
Silence. The air between them. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
I haven't learned anything I didn't know before.
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Whatever you say, officers.
He smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar content cigarettes. Probably.
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority. They stop competing for resources. This concerns you, policemen, so you better be vigilant. The damn kips are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
Cultural victory? What is this then?
It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. Go right ahead. You may be a cop, but that won't help you avoid the calamity to come.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi's stern expression remains unchanged, but you sense something there. Not a lot of moral fiber on this one yet, he thinks, wriggled out of it. What happened? Did your balls shrivel up? You had plenty of chances to get off this road, but no, you let this guy keep talking. Then, when...
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation. The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. Apples. Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait. Apples. Yeah,
He's given you the runaround.
Так, ну там я был.
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Right to... Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families. Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you! We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scab.
Have fun.
Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet... I know nothing about a murder.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him.
Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to... Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers.
Why not? I see numerous reasons not to pick a side in this local matter.
Pity. Let us work! When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work from other... Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different... His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit him. He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
Honest men and women, with rights, to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union...
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy.
What's it to you? No, don't think we've met before. I came to help out the people. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long time ago. We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the... Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Huge Seminese guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access panel is right behind him. Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke, and my men are tired and hungry. They're worker. Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit. They have that look.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now. If you can't get...
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
Lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see A lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia. The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crowned with wavy rays. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
Так, ну сейчас-то можно прокачать. О, yes, наконец-то. Принять. Так, теперь... Мы же как-то попали туда, наверх, я уже забыл как. Нет. Я что-то как-то заблудился.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest." Not a good track record of mental health. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution, but the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement? Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sightings. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family life. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers.
The man certainly knew how to live.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries, the original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's air. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to... The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart,
like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of... People in Martinaise tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death.
Ладно, я что-то подустал. Пора делать перерыв. Все, всем спасибо, всем пока.